All right, here we go. This one's going to be a 45 auto test. Today we have a couple Speer rounds to try out. So on the left we do have our Speer Gold Dot. That is a 200 grain plus P. And on the right we have our G2. That is the carry gun. Also 200 grain plus P. So here's what that Gold Dot looks like. Nice wide deep hollow point cavity on that one. Nickel plated brass, and that one's rated at 1,080 feet per second. And we do have our G2. That one is the second generation of the Gold Dot. We do have that polymer rubber tip down in there. And that hollow point cavity, it does look like it is crimped a little bit there on the nose of that bullet. That one is also 200 grain plus P and is rated at 1,080 feet per second. So today we're going to be trying it out of our Rock Island. That is a GICS short barrel. And that one is 3.5 inches. So normally when I test this, we're getting just over 1,000 feet per second for both. So definitely pretty good. So we are going to be going through our gel. That is a 10% block. We do have our jug backstop just in case we get those pass-throughs, and our 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front. So like always, we'll set our chronograph up so we can hopefully get those impact velocities. We'll see how these rounds do. Here we go. First one up will be your standard Speer Gold Dot. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. So looks like our impact velocity was 982. So a little bit lighter than we normally get, but still pretty good. And it does look like we do have a leaker, so we definitely made it through. So let's see how we did. So it looks like we got a really good shot on this one. Nice wide entry hole on there. It looks like we got a nice star pattern so far. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, that does have a really nice spiral cut going throughout that whole thing. Really good stretch cavity so far. Those Gold Dots always make a nice clean cut through these gel blocks. So it looks like we are at 2 1/8 inches from the top. So it's actually really good. So let's see from the side. Let's make sure we caught this round. Yeah, it sounds like it's rolling around that first jug. So we were able to catch it. Hopefully you guys are able to see this. These blocks are getting a little bit cloudy, but still getting these tests done. But it looks like as soon as it came in, it started opening up really nicely. Yeah, it looks like it carried through pretty much all the way to the end. It's about maybe that last inch, and then did start to settle down, but really nice stretch cavity on that one. So let's see from the side if we get any difference in measurement. So yeah, same thing, 2 1/8 inches. So really good stuff so far. So what we'll do is we'll set it for that G2 and see how that one does. All right, we're stepping back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on this one. So impact velocity for that one was 1,005 feet per second. So usually I get the opposite numbers, kind of on the original Gold Dot 200 grain is usually a little bit spicier than that G2, but it's just how ballistics goes. But looks like we do have a leaker, so let's see how that one did. All right, let's check out that entry hole on this one. So it looks like we got a pretty close comparison, just a few inches apart, so should be a good one. But looking pretty good so far. You can see down in this one also. Nice wide star pattern on that. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, looks like you got some pretty good damage on this one. Those tracks almost look identical though. Just the way that they're shaped. So that is really cool. So let's see what kind of measurements we got on this one. So here we are at 2.5 inches, so just a little bit wider than that other Gold Dot. This track is a little bit kind of sideways to the left, so after we cut them open, we'll get a little bit better idea of what they're actually doing. But so far, so good. And let's check it out from the side. Same thing. That last one looks like as soon as it came in, it started opening up really nicely. Got a really good stretch cavity throughout this whole thing. And about that last inch or so, it did start to settle down. And it actually looks like this one we caught in the second jug. So we definitely got a little bit more penetration than that last one. But this one normally does get a little bit more penetration because it folds back a little bit tighter than that original Gold Dot. So pretty good so far. So what we'll do is we'll check it out one more time from the top, and then we'll see what these rounds look like. All right, so here's those tracks from the top one more time. Looks like they both did really good, almost identical tracks. Here is that Speer Gold Dot. I keep saying original, I just mean Speer Gold Dot, not the G2. So looking really good. Got some nice spiral cuts all the way through, and then it start to settle down right there at the end of that block. And here is the G2. Same thing. Came in, opened up really nicely. Got some major cutting down in there. And almost the same as that last one. It did start to settle down that last couple inches. And I hear a lot of people hating on that G2 because they say it's not a very good performer. But so far, it's looking pretty good in this gel. So let's pull these rounds and see what they look like. All right, check those things out. Looks like they both did really, really good. Got some awesome expansion on both of them, and you can definitely tell the little bit different bullet technology in each one of them. But here is that original Gold Dot. Opened up really, really wide. Peel those petals back really nicely on that one. And that is one huge slug right there. Really nice looking round. Every time I have tested this one lately, though, it's perform every time, even when I used to do it in the jug test. So very good to see. And here is that G2. Definitely one nasty looking round right there. These edges are definitely a little bit sharper than that other Gold Dot. And this one seems like it has on every petal there's like a little gold, I guess, triangle on there. So it doesn't really have that Gold Dot in the center. I guess it does also, but there's little gold pieces all over the end. But this one did awesome too. It did have that little bit tighter fold back and some really nice expansion. Picture perfect on that one. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer shot so you guys can see what I'm saying. But if you can tell right there in the little corners, there's little gold triangles on every petal. I will get our close-ups here at the end so you guys can get a better look, but definitely an awesome round. Flip them over so you guys can get a better look. But you can see that one on the right's definitely a lot wider. But they both did really, really good. Pretty spicy rounds for being out of that short barrel too, so that's very good to see. But there we go. That was 200 grain Gold Dot versus 200 grain G2, both plus P rounds. There we go. All right, here's that cross section for that original Gold Dot. Got some pretty nice cuts down in here, pretty deep, pretty wide. I did remeasure this one and we were still right at 2.5 inches, so definitely quite a bit of damage. Look how nasty those cuts look. But quite a bit of damage, and that thing did expand really big, so let's cut it open. All right, so here's the right side of the track, here's the left side of the track. But you can see as soon as it came in about 1/4 inch, we started opening up and drug in quite a bit of that cotton t-shirt. And got some pretty nasty cuts. Pretty good stretch cavity throughout this whole thing. So definitely good to see. And some really deep cuts down in there. So definitely pretty impressive. A lot of damage for that one. Same thing right here. You can see where it came in, opened up really nicely, dumping a lot of cotton t-shirt. That did have a huge hollow point cavity, so kind of expect it's going to drag a lot of material in. We got some pretty nice cuts down in there, all the way through. Really, really deep ones. So very cool to see. But there we go. There was that original gold dot. All right, and here's that cross section for that G2. Same thing, nice cuts in this one. Really wide cuts too. And same as that last one, I did remeasure it. We were right at 2.5 inches, so a little bit smaller than what we expected, because I believe I said 2 3/4 out there, but 2.5, so pretty much identical as that last one. And the velocities were pretty close to the same too. So very good to see. So let's cut it open. All right, and here's after being cut. This is the right side. This one is the left side. So before cutting, you could hardly tell the difference. They pretty much looked identical out when we were at the range, but they both did some really good damage. You can see this one too came in about 1/4 inch, started opening up really nicely. You see that stretch cavity throughout the gel. And we got some really nice cuts in here too. Nice and deep. So that is good. Same thing on this. About 1/4 inch in. This side you could probably tell a little bit more, but it is very, very deep in there. Nice cuts going on. That G2 did open up a little bit sharper than the original one. So kind of expected, but definitely a pretty impressive round. I'm glad it performed. So I have tested it quite a few times in the jug. Same thing, it performed great. So it was good to see in the gel and see what's actually going on. But there we go. There was that G2.